Hi guys, it's Sabrina. So today I'm going to be filming a study tips and motivational tips video because a lot of you guys requested that. Like there was a lot of requests for that and a lot of thumbs up. And I'm really excited that you guys care so much about school and studying and stuff like that. That you guys come to my channel and ask me for advice about that. I think that's amazing, and I'm really excited that you guys care as much as I do about school. And I'm excited that you guys request these videos for me because I like talking about them. You guys know I have like an obsession with school and getting good grades, so I like making these videos for you guys, and I'm really happy when you request them from me. So a lot of you guys wanted motivational tips. As you guys know, this semester is one of my toughest semesters I've ever taken, and I definitely suffered a lot. I stressed out a lot. It was really hard on me, like emotionally too. And I'm just so happy I made it out alive, and I didn't like destroy my GPA, which was good. So I needed a lot of motivation to just keep going, because at times I was just like, I can't make it out of this alive. It's really hard. And I just was stressed beyond belief. I had at least one test every single week. I don't think I had one break once. Sometimes I'd have two tests in the same week that were really hard for me, or I'd have two tests on the same day. So for me, it was really tough, just trying to like balance studying and also labs. My problem was that I took labs, and I had 3 labs, and labs are not like that difficult. They just take up so much time because you have to do a lab write-up, then you have to do a pre-lab for it, and you have to study for a quiz. And I was just like, that took up my entire life, especially organic chemistry lab. I had that twice a week, so that was like taking an extra lab, so that was like having 4 labs, and I was just like intense. Like that lab was intense. Like there was so much to do for that lab. We'd have 2 lab reports twice a week, 2 pre-labs, and we'd also have 2 quizzes. And I would just spend so much time focusing on that instead of focusing on my classes that I needed to study for. And it was just so hard balancing that. So I did not have a good time doing that. You guys know I struggle with physics, so physics was, I just feel like physics, I needed to spend more time on it, and I couldn't spend as much time on it as I did because I had other classes to focus on. And I just took challenging classes all at the same time. So it was difficult. And that's why you guys didn't really see me on YouTube, and that's why when you saw me like stressed out and just losing it, because I was. But what kept me going? What kept me going this semester? Whenever I get down on myself, whenever I lose motivation, I think about the future, and I think about how what I'm doing now is going to affect my future. And I know that's really hard to do sometimes because you're just like, well, the future is far off and blah, 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 blah. But what you do now determines what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. So it's a really big deal to like get it right now, because if you do everything right now, if you give it your all, if you work your hardest, you're going to be so much better off in the future than you are right now. You might be suffering right now, you might think the world's ending right now, but in the future, you're going to have the dream job that you worked hard for. You're going to have that salary that you worked hard for, and it's going to be worth it. So that's what keeps me motivated a lot, is that I know I have a passion for becoming a doctor. And yeah, I've gotten down on myself, and yeah, I've doubted it. I'm like, can I do this? Can I really do this? It's going to be really hard. It's already so stressful, but I like that challenge. I live for the challenge. I don't live for the stress. I hate the stress, and I stress myself out way too much, like more than I should. But that challenge, that I love overcoming challenges, and I like to fight for what I want. So I want to fight for this, and I'm going to fight for becoming a doctor. I know it's not hard. I know it's really competitive, but I like competition. That's who I am. I just like competition. So I'm going to fight for it. And that's what I think when I am losing motivation, is I think, it's going to be worth it in the end. Another thing that I do when I lose motivation is talk to other people. Other people are really good at motivating you because we're our worst enemies. We literally see everything that's wrong with us. We point out every single flaw that we have. And sometimes you need to have someone else from the outside who sees you, how you really are, talk to you and tell you, you're amazing, you're gonna do this, you can make it through this. it might be really hard right now, but I know you and I know how smart you are and I know how hardworking you are. And when you hear these words from someone else, you realize that, you know what, you're right, I can do this. And it's just so empowering to have someone else tell it to you, because sometimes even if you try to motivate yourself, it's really hard because we don't believe it. I know I don't believe it when I'm like, hey Sabrina, you can do this. I'm like, no, I can't. But when you hear it from someone like your parents, from your sister, from your significant other, it really helps. So that definitely also helped keep me motivated. Listening to my favorite songs, especially Tom Petty, I Won't Back Down, also kept me so motivated. You know, music speaks to you, and different music can have different meanings to you. So listening to your favorite music can calm you, can get you into the mindset, and can just keep you motivated and keep you going. So that's like my motivation tips on how to just keep motivated. I guess that's what I do. That's what I have to think, and that's what I've been, you know, doing to keep myself motivated. As for study tips, I still do the same thing. I feel like teachers will like to give you study guides or like to tell you what you're gonna find in your test. They give you an outline of your test at least, or they tell you stuff in class. So I definitely recommend listening to what your teachers are saying. Go to lecture. I feel like college students have a problem with that. They don't like to go to lecture. You miss out so much when you go to lecture. Like, you have no idea how much information you're missing out on. I don't skip class. I don't like skipping class. If I have to skip class to study for another test, I'll do it if it's really important and there's nothing going on in that class, but I hate doing it. Like, I feel so guilty doing it. And I also know how much I'm missing, because when you go home and after a long day, if you've been studying, you skip class, study for another test, you don't want to go back and study for that class. You don't want to go back and read for it. You're just like, oh, well, whoops, I guess that doesn't matter. And then you kind of get lost. You get lost, you're left behind, you don't know what's going on. So that's why I feel like it's super important to go to class. First of all, that's my #1 tip. For studying, I always have lots of notebooks. Like, I stock up on notebooks, guys. I don't really care if my teacher puts his notes up online or has PowerPoints online that you can like look up after class or whatever. If you're not paying attention in class, you're not going to do it afterwards. I just know from experience, like if you're not writing stuff down as he's talking, even though you know he has the notes online, do it. Write it down. You're gonna be doing something, you're not gonna be zoning off, you're gonna be into that class and you're gonna be paying attention and giving it your all. That's super important. So write down everything your teacher says. So for physics, I wrote down an entire notebook of notes from my teacher, but not only that, I also kept a separate notebook with my homework. It's super important to write down your homework and to have it in a binder, because I used to just write on scratch paper and then I just like toss it out, and I'd be like, when I'm studying for my test again, I wouldn't know how to do a problem. I'd be like, oh, I didn't know how to do this. Let me like search it up instead of like looking through my notes, which would be a lot easier, and I'd be able to follow it step by step instead of redoing the entire problem. Which either way is good to redo problems. I recommend that's a really good way to study for tests. For physics and for organic chemistry, I would definitely redo my homework problems. That really, really help. And for like, also for like genetics, redo your homework problems. Study the book, read the book. A lot of people say don't read the book. For some classes, I've tried to read the book and I'm like, no idea what the book is saying. Totally, it's confusing me more than it's helping me, so I don't read the book. But if you can, read the book. I feel like it explains it so much better, especially for physics. My teacher, I don't know, he wasn't the best teacher. He would just like have his slides, he'd like copy pretty much, or he'd just read off his slides and I'd be like, what are you talking about? I've never seen physics before my entire life, like, can you explain this better? And so I would go into my book and I'd read it and I'd be like, oh, okay, I see what he's saying, because some teachers do that. They just expect you to know things and you don't. So I recommend reading your book and taking advantage of any resources, going into your teacher's office hours, talking to your teacher, asking them for help. Don't be shy to ask for help. I know I am. I hate like asking for help because I feel like, oh my god, they're gonna think I'm stupid, but well, you know what? When they see you get that A that you've been working so hard for on your test because you went and asked questions, they're not gonna think you're stupid, so go do it. And I feel like I have so many tips. I'm gonna stop because this video is gonna be really long. If you guys want more like tips and stuff, I have other study tips videos and I can link them in the down bar below for you guys to read them. But I thought for you guys to watch them. But I just wanted to make like a quick updated video to just keep you guys motivated. As finals approach, you guys can do this. Don't give up now. You're almost there. And just think, it's for the future, it's for your future, and it's going to be worth it in the end when you're pursuing your dream and the career that you've always wanted. So just keep at it, guys. Hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck.